What's going on, guys? Today we're gonna talk about the different phases of construction because I've had so many people that have started a massive construction project to open their very own adult day center, and then they get stuck in the middle of it and they didn't anticipate it taking this long, and suddenly they're running out of funds and they're running out of time, and it's just a bad situation. So my goal is to hopefully provide some clarity, so if you're going into this process, you at least will have a very realistic expectation as for how long things should take. So that being said, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, show a little love. You guys know what to do. Hey, my name is Kris, the founder and CEO of ActivAge Daytime Senior Care. So this is about the different phases of construction. So there's a variety of phases. First in the initial planning stages, and then you get into the meat of it. And of course, there's all those little final things. So let's talk about what the phases are, the estimated period of time that it might take. Number one, when you're first starting out and you've finally leased the space, so you finally purchased the building, so you have an environment to now go and start construction in, right? The first phase of this process is going to be coming up with a suitable floor plan that meets the zoning requirements. So if you have to have a certain number of bathrooms, if you have to have a certain layout, or there has to be some sort of requirements for the actual space. You're gonna have to go through all of that with an architect, right? So this is just phase one of the architectural drawings, which are really the floor plan, making sure that you got the room sizes all figured out and everything from a spec standpoint as far as the size and the space and how you're gonna use the space is all done properly. Then you're gonna move to phase two. So phase one might take somewhere around 2 months, depending on how big or how backed up your architect is. Number two, the second phase of your architectural drawings are gonna be your engineering phase. This is gonna be where we're gonna start to break down plumbing, electrical, HVAC, and all these systems, and doing a deep dive on how they need to be. Where do the outlets need to be? Where does the plumbing need to go? How does it need to be repiped? How does it, where do all the Ethernet cords need to go? All of these things that you probably haven't thought of when it comes to redoing the electrical panel. Where's all the wiring going? What needs to be rewired? What can we use from the existing locations? So all of these things are going into it. In today's world, as crazy as things have gotten, as nuts as the building industry is, I would expect phase one and phase two of your full drawings, your full architect has stamped these drawings. I would expect that to take 4 months at a minimum. So that's a lot of planning time. That's a lot of downtime. This is a period of time where you're not doing construction. This is why it's important to get this part of the process potentially out of the way or started prior to you signing the dotted line on the lease. At least get this process started, because it's gonna take a while to get the drawings done. Now, when you start construction, obviously you've got demo, and then after demo is gonna come plumbing, and then it's gonna come electric, and then HVAC, and then you're gonna do drywall and all the finishing touches and the doorways and all that kind of stuff. So that's gonna be the meat of your project. I would estimate that between starting and stopping and getting inspections at the various phases of this process is gonna be somewhere around 6 months, okay? Of course, you might have another month or two to get final inspections, to get everything signed off on, to get your certificate of occupancy. So the entire construction process might take somewhere between 6 to 8 months in today's market. This might change, but right now, it's so difficult to get people to show up, to get the supplies that you need, to get the inspectors to come out and inspect the various stages of the process. And each of these things, you get a 1 week delay here, a 2 week delay there, next thing you know, it compounds, and now you're behind 2 months, right? And of course, make sure you give yourself a grace period, right? Just if you've never done this before, if this is your first time, give yourself a little buffer. So all in all, maybe expect 15 months from the time that you actually sit down with the architect to the time that you are complete and the project is done and all the final inspections have been completed. Give yourself 12 to 15 months. It's gonna take a while, especially in today's market. A year ago, 2 years ago, prior to the pandemic, maybe this took half the time. Maybe this was 6 to 8 months, not 12 to 15 months, but today's world is 12 to 15 months. Trust me. Siri is even trying to tell you that it takes 12 to 15 months. So that being said, guys, if you haven't started this process, make sure you get started and be realistic. Get started early, be realistic, understand that, hey, say you're you know what, I can do this in 6 months. Good for you. But what if it takes longer than 6 months? Have you at least accounted for the delays that you might experience? It's important to at least have that backup plan in case you face those delays, okay? This is one of the beautiful things too that I love about the franchise, and I gotta like do a shameless little like plug here, is that, you know, when it comes to the franchise concept, we have an in-house architect. The architect, all he does all day long is just franchises. So it's copy, paste, copy, paste, copy, paste. If you hire a local architect, a lot of times they're doing custom projects for a bunch of different things. And so by having like an in-house architect that just does franchise work, it speeds up the process. So a lot of times we can get through the floor planning phase and then the engineering phase a lot faster because it's just plug and play. We already know the rooms we need, what we need them for, and how to lay out the space. You know, whereas a lot of times, you know, if you're doing this on your own or you're going and hiring an architect that's never done this before, half of your first month is just tied up going back and forth trying to, you know, kind of create this picture for them as to what you want. So that's the beautiful thing about the architectural side of things, is that we can speed things up a lot of times on the franchise side as well as the construction side, because they're building the same thing across the country. So they're not having to come and redo everything. It's the same process. It's the same build. So we just copy, paste, repeat, copy, paste, repeat, and it speeds up the process. So there's a lot of efficiency sometimes in the franchise model. If you want to start your very own adult day center, go to adcpro.com, join us for our monthly webinar. Make sure you go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you haven't already, join our private Facebook group. And if you want to start your very own ActivAge, go to activagecare.com/franchise. We'll see you on the next one. Peace. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me. If you'd like to learn how to open your own adult daycare center, go to adcpro.com. If you'd like the latest business tips, click here, and make sure you subscribe to our channel. Click here. We'll see you guys next time.